The night at the fairground was cool and a little windy. Colorful lights blinked everywhere. People laughed, music played, the smell of popcorn and sweet candy filled the air. Yn hadn't wanted to come. But Adam, her cousin, who's a volunteer here, had begged her to come out, have fun, and forget the past. Yn finally agreed, even though her heart felt heavy. She was walking past the Ferris wheel when fate decided to play a cruel trick. Adam called her. Adam, hey Yn, there's an empty seat. Need one more person to balance the ride. Come quick. Yn hesitated. She looked up. The huge Ferris wheel spun slowly under the stars. Maybe it would be nice, quiet, peaceful. Maybe it would give her a moment to think. She sighed and nodded, moving toward the ride. At the same moment, from the other side, Taehyung was walking up too. He didn't seem to see her at first. He was looking at his phone, probably texting Nina. When he looked up, their eyes locked. Both of them froze. Adam didn't notice the tension. He just smiled and said, Adam, perfect, you two can ride together. Before either of them could speak, Adam pushed them gently toward the open cabin. The door slammed shut behind them. Yn sat stiffly on one side. Taehyung sat stiffly on the other. Neither of them said a word. The ride started moving, lifting them slowly into the sky. The air between them was heavy and cold. Memories floodedYn's mind. Taehyung's smile. Their late-night talks, their last awful fight, the one caused by Nina's lies. She stared out at the twinkling city lights, trying not to cry. Halfway up, with a sudden loud clank, the Ferris wheel jolted and stopped. The lights flickered. The ride operator shouted from below, technical problem. Stay calm, we'll fix it soon. Yn gripped the metal bar in front of her, heart pounding. She hated heights, she hated being stuck, and she hated being stuck with him. She felt Taehyung's eyes on her. She refused to look at him. Her nails dug into her palms. Minutes ticked by. They sat in thick, painful silence. Yn looked around nervously. No lights, no music, no movement. The whole fairground below seemed small and far away from up here. And worse, she was stuck inside the small cabin. With him, Kim Taehyung, her ex-boyfriend. He sat across from her, legs spread wide, arms crossed, looking just as annoyed. Neither of them spoke. Neither of them looked at each other. Yn remember how he accused her of cheating, how he trusted her best friend over her, how he left her without giving her any chance to explain, how he started dating her best friend after a week of their breakup. Taehyung looked at Yn. He still remembered her betrayal. The wound she gave him is still fresh. How she flirted with other guys when he was his boyfriend. Taehyung shut his eyes. He remembered the scene where he saw her kissing another man. The cold wind blew against the glass. The silence between them grew heavy, almost painful. Yn hugged herself tighter. Her heart was racing, but not because she was scared of heights. It was him. It had always been him. 1 year ago, they were happy, laughing, loving, dreaming, until everything crashed because of Nina, her best friend, or the one she thought was her best friend. Nina had told Taehyung terrible lies, that Yn was flirting with other guys, that she only dated Taehyung for fun. And Taehyung, he had believed her. Instead of talking to Yn, he had walked away cause he saw her kissing another man. So he broke up with her, and worse, a few weeks later, he started dating Nina. The memory still stung like a fresh wound. Minutes passed. The air felt tense, almost electric. The cabin swayed a little in the wind. Yn grabbed the side nervously. Without thinking, Taehyung reached out and held her hand. His fingers were warm around hers. She looked at him in shock. He looked back, his eyes softer now, sadder. Finally, Taehyung spoke. Taehyung, I didn't expect to see you here. His voice was low, rough. Yn didn't answer. She was too scared that if she opened her mouth, she'd scream or cry, maybe both. Taehyung sighed loudly. Taehyung, still the same, silent when it matters. Yn whipped her head toward him. Yn, what's that supposed to mean? She snapped. He turned too, his eyes burning into hers. Taehyung, you should know, you lied to me, you cheated on me, he said bitterly. Her mouth dropped open. Yn, I never cheated on you, that was all, Nina's lies, she shouted. He laughed coldly. Taehyung, of course you'd say that. Anger exploded inside her. Yn, you were the one who ran into her arms the minute we fought. You didn't even trust me. The words hung between them, sharp like knives. Taehyung's jaw tightened. He looked away, breathing hard. Taehyung, still dramatic as ever. Taehyung muttered under his breath. YN's head snapped up. YN, what did you say? She asked, her voice tight. He shrugged, not even looking at her. Taehyung, you always act like the victim. Anger rushed through her. YN, me. The victim? You were the one who dumped me without even asking for my side, she fired back. Taehyung finally looked at her, his dark eyes flashing. Taehyung, did you kiss that guy? YN, I didn't. I don't even know him. He just appeared in front of me and kissed me out of blue. Taehyung, I saw the messages. YN, I saw you flirting with that guy. Her mouth dropped open. YN, what messages? He pulled out his phone and scrolled. Taehyung, this, he said, showing her old screenshots Nina had sent him. YN stared at the screen. It was a fake conversation. She remembered now Nina had once asked to borrow her phone. She must have texted herself fake messages. YN, oh my god, Nina set me up, she whispered. Taehyung frowned, his face dark. Taehyung, don't lie. YN, I'm not. It's you who didn't let me tell the truth. It's you who left me in the midway, she shouted. Tears filled her eyes. Taehyung, don't blame me to save yourself. After our fight that night, I called you 100 times, but you just blocked my number. I went to your house to meet you, to talk to you on the next day, but you went on a trip to enjoy your new life. YN was stunned hearing him. YN, you came. Taehyung, I waited for you. I was standing in front of your house for hours. YN, Nina, she did this. I lost my phone that night and it was Nina who sent me to the trip saying I will feel better. It was her. She said with a gasp. She placed her hand in her head and clutched her hair. YN, I thought she's my friend, but when I come back from the trip and saw you two dating, I realized she's a snake and you're a hyena who started dating my best friend after breaking my heart. Taehyung, how easily you can play victim. You are the one who breaks me. I started dating your best friend just to move on from you, to make you feel the way I felt. YN, loved you. Taehyung, I never even looked at another guy. Nina hated how close we were. She was jealous. Taehyung looked shaken, like a part of him believed her, but he didn't want to admit it. Before either could speak again, Taehyung's phone buzzed. Incoming video call. Nina. YN's heart dropped. Of course, he was still talking to her. Taehyung hesitated, then answered the call. Nina's fake sweet voice filled the cabin. Nina, hey baby, where are you? Missing me already? YN looked away, feeling sick. But Taehyung didn't smile. He didn't even answer. Nina's smile faded when she saw YN in the background. Her face turned pale. Nina, and no way, you're with her, she stuttered. Taehyung's eyes narrowed. Taehyung, yeah, I'm stuck with her. And guess what, Nina? She says you lied. Nina laughed nervously. Nina, she's lying. You know how she is. She always wanted attention. YN stood up, voice trembling. YN, now I understand. You send that guy to me. Tell him the truth, Nina. Tell him how you borrowed my phone. Tell him how you made fake chats. Nina's face went red. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Her guilty eyes said it all. Taehyung clenched his jaw. Taehyung, you lied to me, all this time. I hated her for nothing, he said, his voice low and dangerous. Nina panicked. Nina Tae, I did it because I loved you. I was scared you'd leave me for her. Taehyung, you destroyed everything. I don't ever want to see your face again, he growled. Taehyung ended the call and threw his phone onto the seat. He ran a hand through his messy hair, breathing hard. YN stood there, frozen. Tears slid down her cheeks. So much wasted time, so much pain for nothing. Taehyung looked at her, regret flooding his face. Taehyung, YN, don't. I'm tired, Taehyung. Tired of fighting, tired of crying over you, she whispered. He got up and crossed the tiny cabin into steps. He grabbed her hands, holding them tightly. Taehyung, I was an idiot. I should have trusted you. I should have fought for you, he said fiercely. YN, but you didn't. You just gave up, she said, voice shaking. Taehyung, I know I don't deserve you, but God, I missed you. Every day, every night, being with Nina was hell. It was you. It was always you. His forehead pressed against hers. Y or N sobbed quietly. She hated how much she still loved him. He cupped her face, wiping her tears with his thumbs. Taehyung, please, give me one more chance. I'll never hurt you again, he whispered. For a moment, she didn't answer. Her heart was fighting with her mind. Yen's throat tightened. Yen, I loved you, Tae. I never wanted anyone else, she whispered. He moved closer without realizing it. Their knees brushed. The tiny cabin felt even smaller. Taehyung lifted his hand and tucked a strand of hair behind Yen's ear. His touch was so gentle it made her shiver. Taehyung, I missed you, every damn day, he said hoarsely. Yen's heart hammered. She should pull away. She should stay mad. But when he leaned in, she didn't move. She tilted her chin up instead. Their lips brushed once, then again, deeper. The kiss was desperate and deep, all teeth and tongue and broken hearts healing. It was full of everything they had been holding back: anger, love, sadness, need. He lifted her onto his lap, kissing her harder. Yen clutched his shoulders, pulling him closer, needing him just as badly. It felt wild and desperate, like they were trying to make up for a whole year of pain in just one night. Taehyung kissed her again, slower this time, softer. Taehyung, I'm sorry, so sorry, he whispered against her lips. Tears welled up in Yen's eyes. She kissed him back, her heart finally feeling whole again. They stayed tangled together until the Ferris wheel finally started moving again, carrying them slowly back down, but neither of them cared about anything outside that tiny cabin. In each other's arms, they had found home again. The Ferris wheel door opened slowly. Adam looked tired and bored, but Taehyung and Yen barely noticed him, still breathless from the kiss. Taehyung grabbed Yen's hand tightly and pulled her out of the cabin. They walked fast, almost running, not caring where they were going. The fairground lights were dim now, most of the crowd gone. The night was quiet, cool, and heavy, with something electric between them. Without a word, Taehyung dragged her inside the empty carousel ride, away from everyone's eyes. He pushed her gently against the metal wall, his body pressing close. Taehyung, you have no idea how crazy you make me, he murmured, voice low and rough. Yen's heart raced as his fingers brushed down her arms, then slid to her waist. She looked up at him, those dark eyes she had missed so badly, eyes that were staring at her like she was the only thing he ever wanted. Yen, you hurt me so much, and you still own me, she whispered, her hands on his chest, his jaw clenched like he was in pain. He leaned down, kissing her again, slower this time, deeper, hotter, their bodies pressed tighter. Yen's fingers tangled into his hair, pulling him closer. Taehyung's hands roamed her back, her sides, making her gasp against his mouth. Taehyung, tell me you're mine, tell me you still love me, he demanded softly between kisses. She whimpered, the words slipping out without thinking. Yen, love you, I never stopped. Taehyung groaned and kissed her harder, his lips moving down to her neck, nipping and sucking gently, leaving warm trails on her skin. Yen clutched his shirt, feeling heat build between them, wild and uncontrollable. Everywhere he touched her, she felt like she was burning, but it wasn't the kind of fire that hurt, it was the kind that made her alive. His hand slipped under the hem of her shirt, fingertips brushing her bare waist, slow, teasing, like he had all the time in the world to relearn her. Taehyung, you're beautiful, so beautiful, Yen, he whispered into her skin. She shivered and lifted her face to kiss him again, desperate and hungry. Their kisses grew hotter, messier. Every touch was a promise that this time, they would not break each other again. Taehyung kissed her until she was breathless, until her knees almost gave out. And when he finally pulled back, he rested his forehead against hers, both of them gasping. Taehyung, let's leave this place, just you and me, tonight, tomorrow, forever, he said, voice hoarse. Yen nodded, tears in her eyes again, but this time, they were happy tears. Taehyung smiled, the boyish, breathtaking smile she had fallen for long ago. He grabbed her hand and kissed her knuckles. Taehyung, you're mine, Yen, and I'm never letting you go again. Together, hand in hand, they walked into the night, ready to start again, this time, with no lies, no games, only love. Next morning. Sunlight slipped through the curtains, warming the messy little motel room where Taehyung and YN had ended up. It wasn't fancy, but it was cozy. YN woke up first, tangled in soft white sheets. Taehyung's arm was heavy around her waist, his chest pressed against her back. She could feel his slow, steady breathing against her neck. She smiled sleepily, remembering everything that happened last night, the kisses, the words, the way he had held her like he never wanted to let go. Slowly, she turned to face him. His messy hair was falling into his eyes, his lips slightly parted. He looked so peaceful, so heartbreakingly beautiful. Unable to resist, YN gently brushed his hair back from his forehead. Taehyung stirred, blinking his sleepy eyes open. Taehyung, morning, he murmured, his voice deep and rough from sleep. YN, morning, she whispered back, cheeks heating up, a lazy smile spread across his face. He leaned in and kissed the tip of her nose, then her cheeks, then her lips, soft, slow, sweet. Taehyung, you're real, and you're mine, he whispered against her lips. YN giggled, wrapping her arms around his neck and pulling him close again. They kissed for a long, lazy moment, bodies pressed together under the sheets. Just as things were getting heated again, bang, 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 someone was knocking, no, pounding on the door. Taehyung groaned and rolled over. Taehyung, who the hell? He stood up, pulling on his jeans lazily, while YN stayed hidden in the blankets, peeking, still smiling, still glowing. He opened the door, and there she was, Nina, hair perfect, makeup done, wearing a fake sweet smile that faltered the moment she saw YN behind Taehyung. YN sat up straighter, the blanket slipping a little, showing the bare skin of her shoulder. Taehyung's shirt the only thing she is wearing to cover herself. Nina's eyes widened, her face turned red with anger and fear. Nina, you stayed the night together? She screeched. Taehyung, you can't just Taehyung. Get lost, Nina, you already did enough damage, he said coldly, blocking the doorway. Nina's lips trembled. Nina, no, listen, she's just using you again. Taehyung, enough, Taehyung's voice thundered, even YN jumped a little at the sound. Taehyung, you lied to us, you broke us apart with your stupid games, you never cared about me, you only wanted to win, he said, stepping forward until Nina backed up. Nina's mouth opened, but no words came out. Taehyung grabbed YN's hand and pulled her forward proudly. He kissed the side of her head in front of Nina, his arm wrapping possessively around her waist. Taehyung, I love her, and nothing you say can change that, he said clearly. Nina's eyes filled with tears, but they weren't sad tears. They were angry, bitter tears. She realized she lost, forever. Before she could say another word, a security guard from the fairgrounds walked by. Seeing the situation, he asked politely, everything okay here? Taehyung smirked. Taehyung, yeah, just someone about to be banned from our lives. The guard smiled and helped lead a furious Nina away, still shouting things that no one cared to listen to anymore. When she was gone, Taehyung turned to YN, his eyes soft again. He cupped her face in his big hands, his thumbs brushing her cheeks. Taehyung, only you, only ever you, he whispered. YN smiled up at him, tears of happiness in her eyes. She threw her arms around his neck and kissed him hard, laughing against his mouth. The sun warmed their skin as they stood there, wrapped around each other. No more lies. And no more pain, just love, real, messy, beautiful love.